In this video, I'll be showing you how to do the photo manipulation trick of editing paper into the hand of a subject. In case you don't know what that means, it means we'll be editing this photo into this. Now, without any pause, let's get into the video. We are going to crop this image such a way that his hands will not be showing. You can come down here to your crop tool and just crop this image right above his hands and then click on OK. Well, the way I like doing it, so I'll preserve the size, the original size of the image. I rather just scale it by using transform. First of all, duplicate the layer, Ctrl J to duplicate the layer, then come down to edit, free transform, or shortcut, just click on Ctrl T and then drag in this point. Now, the next step is pretty much the most important step, which is to get the hand holding the paper. Now, the easiest way to do that is go to your browser, just search on hand holding paper. Just search this key term, hand holding paper. Then navigate to images and you see a fleet of images, different posture, different positions of hand holding paper. Now, I normally don't use Google because the images they give you are usually low quality or stock images, which would have watermark on top. So I usually use a site called FreePic. Just search on freepic.com. Search the same key term, hand holding paper. Now you see a number of them with better quality. Now just look through and get the one that has a good reflection of the image's posture. I think I'll be going with this because the hand positioning looks pretty much like where our subject is facing. Now just zoom in and then take a screenshot of this. Now when I'm done, I go into Photoshop and paste it, Ctrl V. I'll place it here. Now it's looking very awkward. First thing first, press Ctrl T to transform. I'm going to stop here because of the paper. If I do this, the paper will become too big. Now we're going to make a selection of just the arm because this arm is looking too small for this man. Now I'm going to go to quick selection tool, go to object selection. Hover over the hand and then click on it. Just click once and you can see it selected the hand pretty good. Now you are going to just press Ctrl J. Now Ctrl T to transform. Ctrl J is to copy it. You have a new layer of just the hand and then you're going to transform this. Holding alternate. Just hold alternate and shift to transform it. Now that the hand is big enough to reflect the subject, we can now make a selection of the paper to get rid of this extra background. Now just take your lasso tool. You don't have to select the entire thing, you just select around it. Remember, we already have the hand, so don't bother about getting inside. Hold shift to add another selection because I want to get the right shape of this paper. After doing this, all you have to do is click on this icon here to create a mask. Just click once and then you have a paper. Now we have to position the hand on it properly. Rotate this a bit so this part aligns with the edge of the paper. You could still increase the size of this. So now this is looking real enough. Now let's get rid of this watermark. We have watermark on it because it was a premium picture. Go to your healing brush here. Select the side you want to use to heal this picture. And do that. Make sure you try to make it as realistic as possible. Preserve these details. Don't have to be so perfect. Another option is to use your clone stamp. Reduce the opacity a bit and then fill it in. Clone stamp sometimes does a better job. We have to transform it still and make a rotation. Balance this out. I'm going to move it in a bit. What I can do to fill up this place is, since I used the mask, I can bring in some extra paper. Just select around here and make sure white is on the foreground. Take your brush and fill up this space. Now, once you're done, you can look at the person's skin tone as well as the hand. It's not really matching. So what we can do is use color balance. Go to your adjustments, bring in color balance. This is it here. Now make sure you activate a clipping mask so it would clip the changes only on the hand. Add red to it, because if you look at these skin tones, it pops more than this. Just add little red and yellow. And I'm seeing some form of magenta, some form of purple. So we'll add that as well. Oh, not too much. 5 is good. So you can see the difference. If I should turn this off, look at the hand. Difference between the hand when I turn it off and on. So you can see it's better now. Now we can see that he's holding the paper ball. We need some form of shadows. Since the camera is coming from front, some form of shadows should be casted from the paper to his body and from his hand to the paper. Now the easiest way to bring the shadow from the hand to the paper is to go and collect the shadow that was on the paper. If you can see in the original, there's some form of shadow, light shadow on this paper. So you could bring this back in by just coming here, just copy around this hand where the shadow is visible, or just exaggerate my selection so as to get most of this shadow. Now I'm going to feather my selection, feather with a large amount, 5. So I'm going to leave the hand there. Now this new layer I just copied, I'm going to transform it and make it big enough to bring in the shadows, but not to allow the hand underneath become visible. So I'm going to rotate this a bit and pull it in. And so if I zoom in and then turn this off, you can see the shadow go off and on. So we have our shadow from the hand, and there's something else that came in with it. So we should just get rid of this. I'm going to delete it right away. So we only have our shadow now. Now for the paper shadow, we can select the paper layer and then come down here to your effects panel and look for drop shadow. Now we are going to try to mimic the shadow on this hand, the shadow casted on this hand to the paper. Going to mimic it from the paper to this dress too. So you can see it's a very light shadow, not so strong. So we're going to reduce our own opacity down to let's say around 25. Okay, now the direction of the shadow still should resemble something, I think 120 thereabout. In order to get the angle, we have to increase the opacity first so we can see what angle it's coming from. And I guess 125 was a good option. 125, 120 is good, falls within that range. So reduce our opacity to 25, then the distance would push it forward. You can see the shadow is moving with, as I increase this distance, it's moving farther from the paper. So I'm going to leave it at that 30. Then for the spread, it increases the thickness of the shadow and reduces the softness, so you don't mess with this so much. In fact, I want the shadow to be so faded that I would take this spread down to 0. Now for the size would actually increase the softness and the blurriness. So if I turn this to 0, you can see how sharp the shadow is. When I increase this, the more I increase this, the softer the shadow becomes. So right about where it was, 50 was a good choice, and we can see that this is a good reflection of the shadow. If I turn this off and on, you can see how subtle it is. Now that the paper is looking realistic on the subject, we can now bring in our writing. I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut the video right here because I'm trying really hard to keep my videos within a time frame of 10 to 15 minutes. This is so as not to wear you out with all the boring editing process, but some videos cannot be covered within that 10 minutes frame. So I'm going to have to shift the remaining part of this video onto the next video. So it's going to be a part 2 of this photo manipulation technique. So make sure you watch this video.